this is stream numero uno for all those watching in a later date. So I'm going to be streaming hopefully Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Hopefully. And we're going to be getting these commissions done together. And you guys can ask any questions you have about what I'm doing. It's trying to tell me. Maybe I should add a title to this. That might be nice. Let's manage the. Can I change it mid? I guess you can't edit it. Anyways, this just could be named stream. Yay! Or whatever it auto names it. Somebody might see me. Somebody may not. But yeah, so we're going to be going through all these commissions, which I need to get done. Right now I'm getting... Oh gosh, this is really annoying. How do I turn my voice on? I don't know how to mute the output because I already have it as monitor only, but it's not muting my output. What if I do that? What's that do? Nothing. What's that do? Hey! Oh, hey, I can't hear myself. Nice. But can they hear me on the stream? I don't even know if you can hear me on the stream now, though. I'm going to have to open it up on my computer. Let's see here. Show me more. We're getting all the kinks out. We're not getting anything out. It doesn't even show that I'm streaming. Why am I not streaming? Like, where the hell am I streaming to if it's not to YouTube? It says I'm live. Oh, the visibility's private. That should work. Okay, so now that it's public, if I go back here, refresh the page. Aha! It says that I'm live. Ah, it says that I'm live. Oh, and you can hear me. Is this a 20-second delay? Okay. Ah, it says that I'm live. Oh, and you can hear me. Is this a 20-second delay? Okay. Oh, and you can hear me. Oh, there's an echo now. 20-second delay. Okay. Oh, and you can hear me. Oh, there's an echo now. Second delay. Okay. Is there an echo? Like, there shouldn't be an echo. I don't have anything on. Oh, there's an echo now. Is there an echo? Like, there shouldn't be an echo. I don't have anything on. Is there an echo? Like, there shouldn't be an echo. I don't have anything on. Hold on. Sorry, I'm really trying to figure this out. Sorry, I'm really trying to figure this out. I do that? Oh no, I think that I need somebody to be watching. Oh no, I think that on a different device. I need somebody to be watching. Oh no, I think that on a different device. I need somebody to be watching. On a different device. I need somebody to be Is there still an echo? There shouldn't be. Is there still an echo? Shouldn't be. Well, now why is there an echo again? Well, now why is there an echo again? Oh, because I'm still being played. Well, now why is there... There we go. I guess we're just gonna have to go with this and see. This thing is so tiny. Just a little control thing. So I think everything's okay. I think everything's okay. I'm trying to do all this on one computer, and so it's hard to figure out what you can hear and how, if you can hear and all that kind of stuff. Anywho's, yeah. So we're gonna be doing this hopefully about 4 times a week. I'm just going to be painting the miniatures here. Again, if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask them in the chat. I'll try and keep my eye on them and see if I can catch it before too long and answer any questions you have. As to what we're going to be painting, is I've got a backlog of commissions that I got to do, and I'll probably be working on them through, golly, maybe October. So I thought it'd be fun to take some people along with me on the ride to try and figure out what we're doing, how to do it, and how we're painting and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so let's get first of all, let's kind of go through what we're going to be painting. So this is the mini set that I finished yesterday. These are characters from the War of the Rohirrim miniature game from Games Workshop. It's the same people that make Warhammer and Age of Sigmar. This particular character set is Haleth, the Prince of Rohan. I have already, here, let me show you, if I've got these right here. So yeah, so this one is the one that we're going to be painting today. We're going to do a base coat on the horse and the unmounted one. Where's the unmounted? Yeah, here she is, unmounted. Yeah. So we're going to be trying to do base coats on them. This is my reference sheet. This is how I reference all of the stuff. I've got light references on the bottom, real world references, or in this case the anime. It's a movie anime reference here, and then I've got the GW art here just to see how GW decided to paint them. Honestly, GW isn't always the best when it comes to display art, so I just used it for reference a little bit to see what they painted, how they painted it, all that kind of stuff. But let's. I kind of want to take you through what I've already done for this particular client. I started off with Helm here. This is the king of Rohan. This white horse with this big horned stuff. His big horned helmet. And he's got an unmounted and a mounted one. So this is the first one I did. And then we did Freyleaf, I think is how you pronounce the name. This was this particular client's favorite character, so I took a little extra time. I found out about this time that I actually really like painting horses, so I've been having a lot of fun painting these horses, and I really am excited for the horse, for this horse here, because it's a chestnut colored horse, and that's just I really like that color. We're actually going to be mixing it live. I don't have any color that matches it, so we're going to have to try and figure out how to mix the color. Then we painted Hera, which is the daughter of Helm. This one happens to be the client's favorite actual like miniature. This one right here. This one right here is his favorite so far. And then we did Hama, Hama, I think is how you say it. Hama is my favorite as the painter. This one's my favorite. I really liked the blonde hair on him, and I really liked his horse. His horse was a whole lot of fun. So that was that one. And then this is the one that I had showed you here at the beginning of the stream here. It's the one that I have in my hand. And this is Haleth, and he is the Prince of Rohan, and so that's what we did. So we'll go back to the reference sheet here to make it look kind of good. There we go. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. And today I'm going to base Owlin, so I'll be starting painting here in a second. But we have just how I transport my miniatures is I have these die holders. This is what you get die in when you get die. And so if you just keep the container, you can put minis that fit inside of it in it, and got to make sure that the corners get cleared so that you don't accidentally scratch it on the way in. Although I do seal everything so it's not as easy to scratch. And then there you go. You've got something that you can take with you. It's stuck to the bottom. You can flip it upside down, move it around. It's not really gonna hurt it unless you really are trying to. So we're gonna put this aside because I gotta get it to the client later today. And then, oh no, there's no putty. Too bad I am all out. So yeah, this is my first stream in like, I don't know, like 6 years, maybe 6-7 years. I think it was right before the pandemic when last time I streamed, and I streamed. What did I stream? What did I play? I was playing a video game. I didn't stream anything artsy. I streamed. Oh gosh. The Division 2. That's what I streamed. I was playing the Division 2. But yeah, so here's this one. I did that wrong. I put his face in the side that's all messed up. Put that in the back. There we go. Now it's the same thing here. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't go anywhere. Alright, so we got those out of the way. I showed you kind of what we're going for here. I've got my big ass cup of coffee, as you can see, because I was up till 3 in the morning last night. Because I'm stupid and that is not a normal thing for me. I don't stay up till 3 in the morning usually. You'll hear pitter patter around me, maybe chewing of some toys or whatever. I've got a pretty little staffy. Her name is Lilu, and she'll be running around. She won't be able to get on camera. I don't have any camera set up for her, but yeah. So to get started, we're gonna need some paper or some wet palette paper. This right here. This is what I use. This is Army Painter. I actually didn't use it for the longest time. I kind of, for some reason, was anti-Army Painter, but don't ask me why I was anti-Army Painter. I just was anti-Army Painter. But yeah, so I started using it. I actually really like the paper. It's a kind of a cross between thick. Here, I'll show you some that I used. This is like what I used to use. This is thick acrylic paper, so it's really hard to. Well, I mean, it's been wet, so it's hard. It's really kind of. It's a little more durable than regular paper, and it has like a acrylic coating on it, so that it's porous enough to have the paint stay hydrated in the wet palette, which is what I use. I use a wet palette that I'll wet this sponge and put the paper on top of it. It keeps the acrylics from going dry really quickly, which acrylics tend to do. It's not like oil paints where you just add, it just stays wet for days. Um, but this is what I used to use. This is what I used to like, but it's becoming harder and harder to find it without having to order buku amounts on Amazon. My local game store, which the one that I call home, is Reaper Miniatures or Reaper Game Store in Denton, Texas, and they're my home game store, and they sell the um, army paper, and this is actually a cross between parchment paper and the stuff I just showed you. Parchment paper is a little too hydrophobic for me, so I don't use parchment paper. I use the army painter paper. And then we're gonna get the sponge wet here so we can start painting. And I like to let the paper sit for a second just to get it nice and saturated. So while we're doing that, we're gonna actually look through the reference image here, and we're going to see. Let me get the reference image back up for you guys to see. We're gonna try and get these colors. Now I use Reaper paints. These paints by Reaper. This one's really old. This one's one of the new ones here. These paints here, they're some of my favorites. They're a little more fluid than most acrylic paints. You don't have to add much water to them, at least for a base coat. And this is what I like to use. This is what I like to paint with. So we're going to try our best to find the colors that we need for this particular model. Client wanted me to do it just like the GW. I have a little artistic liberties, but like they pretty much like it like the GW paint artwork. So we've got to find. So I've been doing the same green on everybody except for Hera, because Hera had a blue cape for some reason. And so I think we're just going to keep the green. I don't think I need to show that the green is old like her. We're also not going to paint her gray, because I find that is a hilarious way to actually paint old people. We're not going to do that. We're going to tone her skin lighter than by using gray, because when you add gray to a color, it tones it. When you add white to a color, it tints it, and when you add black to a color, it shades it. So when you add black, you're shading. When you add white, you're tinting, and when you add gray, you're toning. So I'm gonna add some gray, maybe a stone gray. Maybe I'll mix my own gray. Stone gray is gray with a little bit of it's like a gray with a little bit of brown in the background. It hints of brown in it. But we're going to stick with the colors I've been using here, and the colors happen to be my favorite green colors that they actually have here. And the color is Muddy Olive. That is one of my favorite greens. So we're going to use Muddy Olive to do the base coat. And then what we'll do is we'll shade the Muddy Olive to do some shadows once we're done base coating. And then we might use some leaf green as the highlight, very, very slightly. I don't know if you can see it through the thing, but I use some leaf green on the highlights of this, on the cape on this guy here. So, but he's young and vibrant and all that, and I think I might keep it a little more toned down, just because the character is old. So, she has seen many a battle, but yeah. So we're gonna do Muddy Olive. That's gonna be the cloak, and then from what I can tell, we've got some really light browns, and it looks like, at least according to GW, the cloth of her tunic or her shirt that she has on is the same cloth as the bag on the horse. So it's going to be done the same way. And honestly, what it's looking like to me, and I know this sounds weird, but it looks like not pale olive. This is pale olive. This is technically a part of the triad for this green. But maybe if I use this in conjunction with aged bone, maybe? No, aged bone's too dark. This is the aged bone. Well, this is what I do with all the miniatures that I paint. I spend some time and I really think about the colors because colors are important. So I want to get them right. Maybe there's a shadowed bone, polished bone. That one might work. And I'll maybe I'll add some. I'll need a green based brown. Maybe I got that. I've got this non-metallic metal brown here. This mixed with this might give me around about the color I want. We'll test it. We'll test it and see. But I think this might be the color that I want. But we will base it in, what is this? Aged bone? Polished bone. Yeah, we're going to base it in polished bone, which is a skeleton triad for doing skeletons. But that's the beauty of colors. They can be used for a lot of things. So that's going to be her tunic. It looks like she's got a blue shield, and it looks like a pretty vibrant blue. So I'm going to use one of my favorite blue colors, akoRn blue. That's one of my favorite blue colors. And then we'll do some highlights with it with Andalasian blue, I think is what it's called. No, that's just true blue. Where's the other blue? This blue? Yes, Andalorian blue. Yeah, Andorian blue. So that's that. I always bring out my white and black whenever I paint because they're used for desaturating colors. You can desaturate with both white and black. It's just whether you're desaturating up in value or down in value. And when I say value, I mean the light value of the color. So white would make a higher light of value, and black would make a lower value. Think about when you put a picture into Photoshop and you change it to black and white. That black and white is what the changes in the white and black is called value changes, at least within the confines of this particular hobby. Or I mean, that's why I used when I went to school for art too. So yeah, so I always take out the white and the black. Now for the horse, and the horse is going to be different. Well, I mean, let's first get her all settled. So she'll have ruddy leather for her armor, black for her boots, and it looks like she's got some green. The bottom of her boots look like the same color green as her. Yeah, these are the same color. The boots and the thing are but she's got bracers that are black, and her pants are brown. We're going to get out some linen white. This is white with a little bit of yellow in it. This linen white is going to be most of the highlights, or shaded highlights for this here. Probably for the higher highlights in her tunic, and for the bag back here. Linen white is another one of my favorites. So it's something that I use a lot of. As you can see, you can barely read it because I use it so much. We're going to mix ruddy leather and black for this. That's what I do for all of them so far. We might do something for this rope. Let me see. Can you see the rope? I gotta get my eyes on. Excuse how funny this is going to look. Am I sexy? Alright. So let's see here. Let's see. There is a rope back there that you can see. I was getting to the end of the primer can, so these aren't primed particularly expertly. They've got some pops in it and stuff, but once you paint it, they're not going to be noticeable, so you don't have to worry about it. If you get pops when you do it, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, it looks like she's got boots on with bracers, and then we'll just give her. What do they do? How do they do it? Do they have another horsey shot? So it looks like there's a. Maybe it's the same color. Yeah, this is all just green. It's the same color. Okay, I'll do that then. And what's good is I do the horses because when I am done with the horses, this is all that the unmounted one is. There's nothing different about it. No different colors. It's just a different pose. So we've got most of her, like most of the person, and we need to get some horsey stuff going. The horse tail and mane is going to be black. We're probably going to use the same colors that we're using for her tunic and her bag in a different ratio to get the socks of the horse. If you didn't know these things on a horse right here, they're called socks. This one has some particularly high knee socks. A lot of horses only have socks that go in between the. I don't know what it's called on a horse. I don't know if it's still a shin bone, whatever that's called. Tibia? No, tibia and fibia is in the arm. I can't remember, but a lot of them go to right here instead of all the way up. But this one has some particularly high socks. But if you look at them, they have more of the brown in it than they do anything else. But it's almost the same color. Yeah, and then so I've got the ruddy leather for leather stuff. I'm gonna turn this light off on my lamp. I didn't charge it last night, so it's not even working. It doesn't work very well. So we're gonna use ruddy leather here to do most of the leather. We're gonna use this blue for the shield that's underneath her cloak, and this is gonna be the highlight color. These three colors are gonna make up the tunic and the bag and the horse socks. These two are going to be used, or this one's going to be used intermittently as a highlight color. This one's going to be used for her cloak. And the white and black will be used intermittently to desaturate colors. The only thing I got to do now is pick the colors for the horse itself. And since it's a chestnut color, I don't have a color that's directly next to it. So I'm going to take some akoRn shadow here. I'm going to mix it with some ruddy leather. And then I'm going to add just a pinch of Carnage Red, and that is how I'm going to make that really pretty chestnut color. Hopefully I can get it looking a little prettier than this GW picture. I mean, I love GW, but you know. But yeah, so this is the first stream that I've done in over like 6 years. So I'm trying to read everything and keep everything going here, and I have an indiscrepancy of saying that there's a chat that somebody said something, but I can't seem to find where it is, and it's not popping up on the little chat thingy. So I don't want to slow everything down by trying to figure it out either. So. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do for most of the base coating here. We're gonna base coat her today, hopefully get her done, and then tomorrow when I come back, we'll do the detail work, and then the day after that, we should do the basing, and then should be done. And then maybe with the basing, we'll base the next one too. But these are for a client that I've got right now. I've done 4 already for them, so. The paper seems to be saturated enough, so let's get some paint on the paper. Let's organize these a little bit better. It would be organized off screen, so I apologize for it being a little boring for a minute, but we gotta get all this off so we have space to work here. I usually use an Illustrator glove when I work on him, just because I brace with my pinky a lot, so when I touch the model like this, when I'm trying to paint, I don't get paint on my hand, and it doesn't really leave oils on the actual miniature. And then I've got one of these generic 3D printed base holders for bracing it while I'm painting it. It works really well. It's starting to fall apart though, so I need a new one. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, also, this piece of paper here is to check the consistency of my paint so that I make sure that before I put it on the model that I'm at the right consistency. Usually there's about 3 different layers of consistency, or 4 technically. You've got base coat consistency, a layer consistency, a glazing consistency, and then a wash consistency. And they're all different, and they all take some time to get them right with the amount of water on the palette and everything like that. I always like to start with the cloaks, just because they're the biggest piece. There's a piece that the part of the mini that a lot of people will see first, other than the horse. But I like to do the horse last, just because that's how I've done it so far. You're gonna want to shake these up pretty good. Get all the pigment moving around in there, not getting all stuck at the bottom or whatever, especially with metallics like these. This is a metallic paint right here. This is new gold. If you don't mix this up very well, all the mica, which is what makes it reflective and pretty when you put it on, it's going to stay at the bottom of the container here, and when you pour it out, it'll be milky and kind of gross. And it's because there's no mica pigment in it, and also the binder for all of it just isn't mixed up very well. So you got to kind of mix it really well. I'm not going to do what I usually do, because I usually use the electric toothbrush, but that'd be way too loud, and I don't want to use it while I'm on stream. I gotta find a way to fix this thing with the chat. I want to be able to talk to whoever's here. Well, it says I got one person watching, so whoever you are, thank you. Hoping I'm not too boring. But yeah, just if you weren't here earlier, I'll just say that we're doing this is a commission work. Somebody has paid me to paint all these miniatures. This is what I painted earlier for them. I've got 4 of them, kind of like this, and we're going to continue this level of quality on the remaining 4 that I've got lined up to paint. And if you want to stick around or pay attention to the channel, subscribe to it or whatever, you can see after I'm done with the Rohan group, I've actually got a pretty good sized army of Mordor that I'm going to be painting for somebody, which includes the Witch King on Nazgul or Fellbeast. I've got the Witch King on horseback, and I've got the Witch King unmounted. This particular client is also, this new client for the Mordor stuff, is also given me Shelob the Spider, 2 cave trolls, Sauron himself, and a beast from the book that I can never remember the name. I think it's called The Terror of Ardnon or something like that. It's a big winged metal beast. And so we're going to be painting all those kind of incrementally through these streams. I'm planning on streaming 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Usually it's going to be from 1 to 5 or 6-ish. I just got a little late start today, so. Alright, so I'm going to put this in sames just so I can show you guys a little bit more. These paints go a long way, so you don't want to waste them. So put a dab, a little tiny dot, just like that. Not, whoop, there we go. Little tiny dot. Actually, I'm going to put a little more just because I know I got 2 minis with cloaks of the same thing, so just a little bit more. And then I'm going to be using this Phalanx brush. This is a, it says it's sable. It curled on me pretty quick, which means that the, oh, this is the Reaper brush. Oops, my bad. We're going to be using, where is the Phalanx brush? Phalanx brush, right here, this one. Nope, that's the other Reaper one, man. I'm not doing too well with this, am I? Here we go, big fat letters, Phalanx. Okay, this is the Phalanx brush. It curled on me, which means that the tip curl usually means there's some synthetic bristles in here, even though it says it's sable, or some lower grade sable brushes will curl on you pretty quick too. So I only use this to base coat, because base coating you can kind of be a little messy with. You can clean it up in post, you know, technically. And so this is the brush I'm going to be using. It's just a number 1. I like having a big brush to hold a lot of paint so it doesn't get in the ferrule. This is the ferrule of the brush right here, this little metal part. And so I've got a little water dish on the side that I just can't get in camera. And so I'm going to do one brush full of water to like this amount of paint and just kind of mix it in there. And then we're going to close down visors so that we can paint. Oh no, I didn't even think of this. This camera is really close, so I'm going to have to be really mindful of it when painting. You're going to want the I'm a big believer that a good base coat is the start of a good mini, meaning once you get a good base coat, everything else kind of falls into place. At least that's how I see it, and that's how I believe it works. So you're going to want everything to stay kind of even, and that's why I like Reaper so much, is you don't have to work so hard to keep everything even. The flow improver in here, or the little bit of chemicals they do put in here, kind of help it go across the mini, kind of flow across the mini a little better than Citadel paints do. And well, honestly, I haven't tried Army Painter paints, so I don't know how Army Painter paints are. I found Reaper and I kind of stuck with it. Now, if you do this correctly, you might need more than one coat. Some colors just don't coat as well as others, so you might need to let this dry. And if you can hear it in the background, I'm not sure if you can, but if you can hear it in the background, I've got a fan going on beside me, a little small desk fan. Once I'm done painting the cloak to when the brush is empty, I'll take the mini and I'll put it in front of the fan for a second, and that'll dry the coat so I can put another layer on top without having to wait for it to dry. If you do not let the layer dry, what will happen, and maybe I'll do it for you here just to show you what'll happen to it. If you don't let it fully dry, you will get something that kind of, I don't even know what the technical term is for it, but it's like a tear out. So like it's kind of dry, so when you bring your brush across, it picks up the other layer, and then you get like this really weird ring, and it's really hard to cover. And it's just because there's still surface tension, because there's still moisture in the paint when you went across it again. So you always got to kind of be mindful of if your layer is dry so that you can start painting again. I'm going to stop here for a second. I'm going to try and see if I can pull up the stream manager on YouTube itself, because they might show me the actual chat and what's inside the chat. Because I think that's what it's trying to tell me, is that somebody has said something in chat, and I don't want to miss like a question that somebody has or anything like that. So I'm going to try and pull it up here. Okay, it's still not showing me the chat. Like, why is it showing me chat? I mean, I've got it up. Huh. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Well, now you'll have some Inception. It'll be on in the background. Anyway, sorry again if I miss your question. I'll have to sort this out between today and tomorrow and figure out how to actually get an interactable chat, because for some reason mine's not interactable. So yeah, this was actually pretty good because this was able to dry while I was. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was able fuddling around. I'm gonna use this light. It's not gonna do much, but you might be able to see just how, like, this has a pretty good coverage, but it's not great. So I'm gonna have to do another coat. But yeah, I'm excited to start doing this streaming thing. I have some pretty good knowledge when it comes to miniature painting and all that kind of stuff, and it'd be nice to be able to kind of pass it along. Help other people out who might be having questions or need help. If I can get the freaking chat working. I've got a cabal of people that will help me out if I can't figure it out. At least I hope they can. Man, she's got a big old hood here. Yeah, so from what I can tell, I haven't seen the movie War of the Rohirrim, which is what these models are based off of. Is that movie? It's an anime style movie. Apparently, she's like the teacher. She's a teacher of Hera, the princess of Rohan, or daughter of Helm. I don't know how they say it in universe. And so she's an old, wise character that has lots of knowledge to pass down. Unfortunately, as you can see in the reference image that on screen, the GW decided to make her look like she was dead already. Like, like her skin tone, it looks like she's been dead for a week. And I did not want to do that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be toning her skin, which means we're going to be adding gray to it. For future reference, if you add white to a color, the white is going to be tinting a color, black is going to be shading a color, and gray is going to be toning a color. That's you can sound like a professional artist now when you tell people that that's technically the terms and how they're used. You can also notice on here as I'm painting it that I'm not sure how well the camera's picking it up or not, but these colors, most acrylics in general, will go down darker and dry lighter. So you're going to have to keep that in mind when choosing your colors, just to make sure that you don't accidentally choose something too dark or too light. This muddy olive tends to, it dries lighter, but it also dries and has a little bit, it kind of looks like a chalky consistency when it's done. It's not bad. It looks good. I like it. It's just it happens to have like a little bit of fogginess to it once it dries. But once you put the washes on it and everything, it looks great in the end. Like I said, this is how I've painted all the other capes, and so we will do that. We will paint it muddy olive. This is coat number 2. Sometimes you need 3, sometimes you need 4 coats. It just depends on the color. There's if your color is transparent, and what I mean by that is there are some colors that just the pigments aren't strong, and we're talking yellows, oranges, reds, pretty warm colors for the most part. Blues, even though that's a cool color, but blues have a problem sometimes too. They don't have great coverage, and you have to apply multiple coats. If you can identify those parts of the mini beforehand, you can paint them white before you start base coating, and that will help with the amount of paint that you'll be using on the model, so you can save your paints and not have to refill them as much. I'm being lazy and don't want to take the time to do that, even though I could with her shield here, but it's such a small portion, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Pure white also obviously has some trouble going over black if you prime black, so that's another transparent color. I just read this article about something called Pomodoro, and it's for kind of like time management. It's an Italian guy created it. I don't know what his official title was, but it's basically you set a timer, or in this case, I look at the stream time, and you work diligently and without distraction, or if your job entails distractions, like if I was streaming and actually had a chat that I was paying attention to. But like that's your job, so you do that, and then after an hour you take a 10-minute break. And it doesn't mean like you take a 10-minute break like in my case I'd stop the stream for 10 minutes and then I'd come back 10 minutes later. I'm not going to do that. But I do want to try it out because I've been getting a little burnt out on painting these guys, because I've kind of been doing it back to back to back. And so I want to try it, and so at the hour mark of the stream, which is in 13 minutes, I'm going to stop painting and talk about some other stuff. Well, I mean, not talk about other stuff, but just like not paint. Maybe I'll show you some of the other the other commissions that we're going to be doing after this, or I'll go back and show a couple of the stuff, some of the stuff I've already done, because the YouTube channel is a little behind on, it's really behind on stuff that I've done, and I feel that stuff is on there is really good. The genie girl is really good in my opinion. I really like the dragon, the temple dragon. The one that I made look like a Dragon Ball Z Shenron dragon, like Dragon Ball dragon. I think that one's pretty good, but it doesn't really reflect the level that I'm at now. And I think it was lost on me to mention more often that I've been painting miniatures collectively, like if you count the breaks I took, for like 10 to 15 years. So I started back in the 2010s, and I took a long break. But I've always been an artistic person. I mean, I am an autistic person, but but I am an artistic person. So I've always been doing art and stuff. And so the riding the bicycle was way easier, getting back on track with the miniature painting. And so it's a big curve. There's a big skill curve that I haven't been able to show in the videos yet, because I have been doing this, and this is a video. These commissions are a video, but I need to get them all done, so at the end of the video I can show off all the minis that I did for the commission. I kind of only show myself painting one mini out of the 14 that I got, and then after that I've got a video painting my personal Terminators for my Thousand Suns army. And actually, maybe during the 10-minute break after I'm done painting this cloak, I can show you what the Terminators look like, because they're really good and I like them a lot. But I've got so much stuff that I'm painting for, like people that are paying me to do it, that I can't really sit and paint my own stuff. I'd feel like I'm mismanaging my time. And I don't even know if you can hear the music. Maybe you're just listening to me talk, and that's cool too. But like I said it earlier, I need somebody to monitor, like tell me what's going on the stream, because right now I only got one computer, and my phone is actually the camera you're watching me paint from. my cell phone, so I can't pull it up on that either. And I don't watch streamers paint, like painting streamers. I don't watch people paint. And if I do watch people paint, well, okay, I can't say that sentence, but like I watch some people paint, but they always have somebody with them that they're bantering with, they're talking with. Like I've watched a couple of the Reaper miniature, like the painting streams. Like I think they're streaming right now on Twitch. But they, like, there are two people, one person's sitting and talking and the other person's just, painting, and so they can kind of banter and talk about stuff. And right now I'm riffing off my butt, just sitting here talking to me and an imaginary person that may or may not be there because I can't see a chat. I pretend that you're there, and if not, voices in my head will do, I guess. If there is somebody watching, when this video posts to the actual like YouTube channel, like comment on the video that you were the one guy, the one person that like, cause I'll post it as a VOD on the channel. Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. I see what's going on here. There's a little piece of the cloak, like in here. Oh my goodness. Well, I enjoy sitting here and talking out loud, not feeling like I'm crazy, because, you know, it's a streamer's job to keep talking, right? Talk, monkey, talk. Don't just let me sit here and watch you paint. Talk. And there's a good chance that this person is a family member or a friend. Whoever you are, thank you. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for watching. I gotta make sure I'm still in frame. I'm not paying attention to... I'm not paying attention to the OBS to see if we're in frame. Oh, man. Alright, okay, so as you can see, it took about 2 to 3 coats to get it nice and covered. Now, remember that when you do a base coat, like, a solid base coat is great. Like, really. A solid base coat is great, but it doesn't need to be 100% solid. And the reason why I say that is usually by the time you get done doing washes, highlights, shadows, all that kind of stuff, you would have already layered it again with like another 10 to 15 layers of paint. And so this is just to get the background color ripe for you to be able to do your shadows and highlights and all that kind of stuff. So like, it's like, this is a great paint job, but there's a couple little like spots in here that I can see that are just a little black, and I can hit them if I want to. I really can, and I don't blame anybody for doing that. But what happens is when I come in with the wash, it kind of just it kind of like smooths everything out. So it'll cover up all those little tiny blemishes or inconsistencies in the base coat. So you don't need to be 100% like super OCD about it. Although I am OCD about it, but that's because there's a tier of my painting that I do where it's like only base coat and washes, and so I really like getting a good base coat down. Like, that's just covering the black paint with a color. Even if it's just black on black, it's just so satisfying and tickles that part of my OCD. And so it's something that I do. But I've also been in a little bit of a rush or a little bit of hurry, and I haven't been able to do that, and it comes out perfectly. It comes out just fine on me at the end. I've got something on here. There's something going on. Oh, you know what it is? Oh man, yesterday, so I use this little old peanut butter lid as a little paint pot, and I think yesterday I got some fake snow in it when I was doing the fake snow bases on this guy here, the fake snow on the base, and I think I'm getting little pieces of snow inside the bristles. Oh, you can see them. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, you see the little white dots on there? When I turn it, you can kind of see there's white dots on there. Those white dots are little tiny pieces of snow. I'm gonna need to get a different paint pot. Man. Alright, well, we'll put this aside. Oh. Oh, crap. I've got connected by wire. What is going on here? Is that what it was before? Something seems different. Whatever. Oh, that's about right. We're gonna change it to this here. I can't like like that's what every time when I was painting that cloak, like little tiny green like bubbles were showing up, and I was trying to figure out what was wrong, and that's what was wrong. All right, we're gonna let this dry, and then what we'll do is I tend to paint these simultaneously, so when we come back and we start painting in a couple minutes again, we'll paint this cloak too. That way, if I do that because there's a reason why I do that. I do that because if I have two miniatures like this, like they're in tandem, two miniatures, if I mix custom colors, then I need to be able to keep the custom color across. And like, while I can remix the color, absolutely, it's not a big deal, but it's much easier to mix one color and then paint both of the miniatures with that custom color. Once you so that you can keep consistency and it would look the same on each one. Like that's how I do it. That's what I like to do. But it also means that you're painting two miniatures at once. And since it's not army painting, you're painting for this is a commission piece, so it's got to look a little bit better than tabletop. Just because that's the tier that this client went with. We gotta do that. So we're gonna let the cloak dry on this. This character's name, by the way, is Owlyn, Awlyn. She's the teacher and swordsmanship teacher for Hera in War of the Rohirrim. It's a tabletop game and a movie based in Middle Earth in the 3rd century, in the third age, while the Lord of the Rings books and like movies take place in the 4th age of Middle Earth. If I am not a Tolkien head, so this is just what I've heard from the clients talking to me about their stuff. But speaking of that, let's like I'm gonna kind of go back through here and see if I can. I'm gonna go back through here and kind of show you what I've painted already while we wait for this to dry. So this one here is Helm. This is the king of Rohan at the time. Actually, if you've ever heard of Helm's Deep, that where the battle took place in Revenge. I was going to say Revenge of the Sith in to Two Towers. This is who it's named after. This is the character that it's named after. This was the first one I painted for this particular client. Then I painted Freyleaf, which is a person that kind of I think he's just a foreigner that comes in and does some stuff in the movie. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the movie, but this was his favorite character, and so this one he really liked this one and how I did it. Then we went and we did Hera. Hera is the daughter of Helm. Nice pure white. I did do a base. I just didn't take a picture of it afterwards. This is my personal favorite. This is Hama. He's an archer. This archer was a pain. This bow was a pain in the butt because there's like this plastic kept snapping on this arrow, so I had to replace it with metal, and that just took a while. This horse is my favorite horse. Just being able to get all the little muscles in here, and the hair is really good. I really like the hair. And then this is the one that I've been showing you off and on. This is Haelith. This is Hama's brother. This one is a little brighter, like not only because the lighting's different, but because the actual paint is brighter. He's a little older, a little more vibrant, a little more. He has more virality. He's like the warrior prince. Like he uses a battle axe, you know. And so I made it a little more punchy, you know, umphy. And so that's what I've painted so far. Is all of these, and then this is what my reference sheet looks like. I have photo references of what she looks like in the anime, what GW decided to paint, which is Games Workshop, the people who make the game. And then down here is I have a custom lighting rig that I use to take pictures, so I can see how light plays with the miniature, and I can base my lighting on the horse or the unmounted miniature based on these pictures here. And so this is what I do for almost every miniature that I paint. This is how I do it. I've got a 60-pound dog like underneath my feet at the moment. She's freaking out that I'm talking and not talking to her. That's what's going on. That's what's going on my end. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. This is the same client as I painted those for, and that's who's this is for. And then we can see what we're gonna paint after we paint these guys here. I've got here on sprue still. This is the Witch King on Fell Beast, or the Nazgul, that big dragon thing. That big dragon thing here. That's gonna be a lot of fun to put together and paint. And I've got the Witch King on horseback and unmounted. So this is going to be also part of this commission here. And then I've got a little bit of a kit bashing thing I got to do after that. And then I've got a whole bunch of Mordor to paint after that. So I'm pretty much good till like September. What is it, sweetheart? My goodness, what a lady. What a lady, what a pretty lady. Yes, Daddy's talking to nothing. Yeah, Daddy's talking to the ether. But yeah, so that's how my next 6 months is gonna go. I've also got a painting competition that I did a piece for. I did this piece here for a painting competition. That's in September. And it's a little hobbit sitting in his hobbit hole, and he's sitting right next to a fire, and that's where all this lighting is coming from on him. I even did little tiny details on the look inside the book. Isn't that cool? That's cool. I think that's cool. But yeah, so this is my particular contribution to the competition. I'm hoping I can get one more done, but then this other client came and he was like, "Oh, I want like all of Mordor painted." And so now I've got to paint that, which I am grateful for. I am not ungrateful. I just it's just, and I enjoy the painting process. It's the process of painting that I like. I don't have space to put everything that I'd like to paint, so it's great to be able to paint it, take some good pictures of it, maybe a video of it, and then send it off to be in somebody else's problem to store, because I don't have enough space to store all this stuff. But yeah, so I've got to stick to this the Pomodoro thing. I got to do this Pomodoro thing because I really don't want to like burn out while painting, because like I've painted like 10 miniatures in like a month and a half, and like that's a lot for me. I don't do 2-hour paint jobs, you know, and so I really need to try this whole work for an hour, stop working for, you know, or stop painting for like 10 minutes. So yeah, I feel like I just gotta keep talking. It's almost like a verbal throw up that just keeps coming out. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't look at me like that. You guys want to see the puppy? You can see the puppy. We have time for me to reconfigure the camera. I'll show you the puppies. We'll show you the puppies. Oh, say hi. Say, I'm upside down, Daddy, but there you are. Look at you. Such a cootie pie. Oh, she's shy. She's so shy. She's so shy. She is my everything. She is my baby. She is 2 years old. She's a Stafford Terrier, and her name is Lilu. She is named after the character Lilu in whatever that movie is, the Fifth Element, and if I could just get this back to where it was, that'd be nice. There you go. That's pretty good. She's named after the character in the Fifth Element. I enjoy. That is one of my favorite movies, like, ever, and I rescued her from the shelter, a local shelter here. She was the oldest dog in the shelter. Yeah, you were the big sister to everybody. Yes, ma'am. And we did a 2-week trial to make sure that she was good, because she's a service dog, an emotional service dog, and a therapy dog. When my anxiety goes through the roof, she sits on my lap, all 70 pounds of her. It's compression therapy. Like, Dad, calm down, Dad. Calm down. But, so yeah. The first hour has already gone by. Oh my gosh. It's not bad. I was so scared doing this. I was so uppities. Yeah, I was uppities. I almost didn't do it. But I was talking to I actually was kind of sealing the deal on the Mordor army this morning. What? Did you guys hear that whine? She said, "Oh my goodness, come here, sweetie." But I was doing the I was kind of sealing the deal on the Mordor army this morning, and I mentioned that I'd be streaming today if they wanted to watch me and how I paint. What? But we went for a walk early so that I can do this. Like, I don't care, Dad. It's 2 o'clock. Is it 2 o'clock? Oh my gosh, it's 4 o'clock. My gosh. Time flies when you're having fun, huh? But yeah, so... but I told him that I'd be streaming today, and so I didn't want to, you know, like, seem like a flake or whatever. So I decided to get on here and do it to it. You can't do it until you go through it. That's an old movie. I think it's 1993. Oh man, that is a... Isn't it? What? Oh my goodness, you don't talk like this normally. You just want to be on the internet, huh? Hey, Daddy, where's my close-up, Dad? Where's my close-up? I gotta get everybody on the stream. They'll see the doggy. I should do that. It would be a nice troll. Just show you on a thumbnail for it, and then everybody comes in and there's like, oh, it's just a dude painting. A dude painting poorly, might I add. Nah, I don't think it's poor. It's not poorly. I don't self-deprecate in my art for the most part. Unless I'm with other artists, because that, well, I mean, like that, we all do that. like at Paint Club, we all self-deprecate. I also didn't say anything about it earlier, but I use a microfiber cloth to wipe my brush after I clean it and wipe and rinse it out. If you use paper towels, which is generally what people use, or a lot of people don't even think about, they just use it. It leaves little tiny marks on it, and so or not marks, it leaves little tiny fuzzies on it, and so you have to like pick out the fuzzies and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit of a pain. Alright, so we're gonna get back to painting. What we're gonna do is we're gonna paint this cloth. Yes. Boom! New mini! What the... Maybe... Do I need to, like, refresh this? Docs? Chat. My chat is not private. This is stupid. This is stupid. I hate this. I need to figure out how to get the chat working. give me chat. Why did something go wrong? Hmm. I don't like this. I don't like the way YouTube does this. Ooh. Why won't chat show up? Alright, guys, so I know I said I was going to paint this other cloak on the stream, but I know it was a long time of me doing nothing. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out still. I think I did alright, but since this color comes directly out of the bottle, I'm not worried about having to use it. And plus, this is getting a little low anyway, so we're just going to have to top it off. But, yeah. I enjoy doing this, so hopefully I'll do it again once I can figure out how to get everything working, because right now I think... I don't even know if you could hear the music that I've been playing in the background. I don't know if there's anybody... Like, it said there was chatting, like the chat was actually... Like it said that the chat was being used, but I can't see anything, at least not here, and I can't even type in chat. I don't even know... I mean, like, do the streamers type in chat? I don't know. I don't know how this works. So we'll figure it out together. I'll get it down eventually, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Thanks.